It's a brand new week on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Moriah Afolabi Brand. As always, I have my co-hosts here with me. Hi, ladies.
Good morning.
Jim's in the building.
Yo. We had to warm it up this morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. I had a restful weekend and I saw a lifeless body on the road.
I saw it.
Where?
When you turn off
Gardens on the other side. As you're coming from Ibadan, trying to turn towards going to K2, the garden, there's a lifeless body. He may still be alive, but he looked dead. The relevant authorities should please do something about it.
Goodness me.
I thought that this was something that happened in the past in Lagos.
How you doing, madam? Tokwe, how was your weekend?
It's all about self-love.
That's the only thing you're singing right now.
It's all about self-love.
And you're looking very good, actually.
Looking very trim.
Yeah.
Jim is really working, you know.
It is.
And I like the proportion. It's not too much in any way, just right.
So when you want to talk about self-love this weekend now,
I can't. I think that you must. If you don't love yourself when you're big, you won't love yourself when you're slim.
True.
So that is the journey that I've realized, that if I did not love myself then, even if I become a size 6, I will still see like one flabby skin, and I will focus on that flabby skin. That's what we're talking about. So it's not about, I don't want, everybody cannot be skinny. We can't all be the same shape.
I certainly can't.
You know, so, but we must accept what we have.
I
feel very humbled by all the favor, all the love. This one I just look at like, why be? As in, why be?
Where is the UIB guy? What's the name again?
He was at an event this weekend performing. He's doing well.
I hope so.
He's doing well. We're not hearing about him so much, but
I'm just
he's
saying.
doing things.
But it just goes to the background. Nobody. Auntie, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I also
like
saw
your
that.
nails.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Oh,
Things are happening.
wow. I didn't even notice.
Things are happening.
I decided to pamper myself. Then this is all my hair. Finally, I'm trying to flaunt my hair.
Yes, so this is your fine hair.
I'm trying to flaunt it. Honestly speaking, when I saw that lifeless body this morning,
did too?
Yeah, I did. I couldn't.
That's not your.
And you know, when you guys talked about road safety and receiving something shocking and how it can take you, like you get a call and maybe the thing
Distract you.
and how it almost actually distracted me. Like I almost because I was taken aback. I was taken by a shock because so many things coming out of his mouth.
Are you serious?
It's really sad.
You should have called somebody this morning. You could have called 121.
Maybe 767. Yeah, it didn't really occur. I thought to mention it on air.
I thought to stop.
Whoa,
767 would have.
I saw something and I didn't look at it. I just couldn't. I don't.
All right.
How was your weekend, Mariah?
My weekend was nice. I actually went to the old people's home.
Whoa.
And I went to the children's center somewhere in Lagos State. I was really, really impressed, I must say. The women, the old people, they're just so happy. And they're in the living room watching TV. They're well kept. They're skin.
Which one?
All of them. Yaba. They all have their nail polish and their toenails yellow, orange, and I'm wondering,
you don't know that the old men still toast the old women, so they have to do CC for them.
They were actually. I mean, it was fun listening to all of them, and they were happy.
They will definitely have.
And even the children's home, the kids. I mean, the guy was taking us on a long lecture on how the kids get around, but generally there were about 59 children there. And some of them from sexual abuse issues, some that they're just care and protection. And the kids, they're fine. They just, I mean, now you see their needs.
Everybody just needs love.
If we can go there, ordinary, a nice couch, tables for the kids, toys for them to play, somewhere that is child friendly. So there are lots of things to. If you have things to give, honestly, that's a
good place to give.
But yeah, it was an interesting weekend for everybody.
Your makeup is very nice.
To my Regina,
your nose is contoured.
Let's take a break. It's Monday morning. I shouldn't be contouring anything. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Right. Starting with the Punch. Record judge collected 90 million naira bribe from 100 lawyers, says Buhari's aide. Picture here of the most trending man in Nigeria, Evans, leading police to 2 detention camps in Lagos. Bribery, irregularities mar Ogun home owners' charter. 4 die, 5 injured in Ogun auto crash. Nigeria records first trade deficit with UK in 7 years. Southern leaders demand withdrawal of anti-Igbo threat. Kung Fu kicks. Nigerian demands prosecution of Chinese who crippled worker. Biafran agitators Arewa youths will face full force of our law, says Osinbajo. Budget. National Assembly wants to be both legislature and executive. And 516 billion naira Paris refund. Labour teams up with EFCC, ICPP on probe. And Nigeria needs an energetic president.
Yes, sir.
Says Bakari. I read that story. Interesting. But which story?
I have the Kung Fu Cake story, but I think that the crisis between the National Assembly and the executive...
We'll take it.
No, it's all over the place.
We'll take it somewhere else. Move on.
Please talk about Master One.
Master One of bedmates.
Right.
People are advocating that he should be prosecuted. That not only should he be prosecuted, the police official that is said to have collected 50,000 naira bribe should also be sanctioned. That we can't have people come to our country and impose maltreat. The word was maltreat Nigerians and get away scot-free. I'm happy, especially that Punch is continuing this story, because the job of the media is to ensure that people don't escape or feel that they're above the law.
Right.
So that's a good one.
I wanted to emphasize that the reason we hear about a lot of human angle stories is because Punch keeps us abreast of them. Right. If not, a lot of these things, Master One would just have paid money and no one would have heard.
Yeah, so I'm happy.
I want to talk about the Southwesterns, the Southwest, Southeast, and South leaders gathered at the house of Afenifere leader Ayo Adebayo, and the communique was released to say that
I was actually going to take let's stick to the human angles in Punch.
She focused on Punch, so wanted to take all the story.
All right, but the Bakare story, Bakare is telling us that he was going back to the Macron saying that the France's experience shows that there's a paradigm shift all across the world. You know, people must understand that young people are taking over. That how can Gowon and others who took power when they're 30 still be the one trying to, the Buharis and co, trying to still get power, this and that. Going forward, we need to understand that young people get involved. Yes, ma'am.
My only question to Pastor Bakari, he ran with this same man in 2007. 2007, 2011, I think. There was a pastor 2011, I think. So what was he thinking at the time? Or the president was young enough at that time, right?
Moving on to the nation.
I think what has happened is they are seeing the trends that are happening all over the world, and they are seeing how much transformation that is happening. And that's why, you know, we make mistakes. Yeah, but we come out.
For breakup unlawful, says Osinbajo. Picture here of Evans. Evans says, I gave my dad 3 million naira and an SUV.
Really?
House rejects EFCC's invitations to members. Dasuki blew 1.2 billion in one day, says government. And acting president to churches expel looters.
So
all right, so
I have that story.
Which one of them?
The acting president to churches.
Right. Okay.
So he said the fight for corruption should start in the church.
The religious homes.
The religious homes. The idea that they must uphold the true values of what the religion is about.
And he specifically said they must preach honesty.
That's all right.
That honesty is one thing to say you're bringing tithe and everybody. People must know that you must be honest with the source.
I'm happy about where he's coming from, because he's a pastor.
Yes.
So he has the right to say that we, Association of Pastors and Leaders in Religion.
There was a church, a particular church that someone alleged that fraud happened and the guy paid tithe. They approached that church. You remember that church, right?
Yes.
The church, very popular church.
Was the money refunded? I don't. I think
this is post that. That happened then. This is now.
So this is now
acting
president. Trust me. Let me tell you something. It's because even in churches, some of these churches celebrate people that of affluence. They put them on front row.
That's all right.
Give them special recognition. That's why anybody will wake up and say, "Me too. I want to share my own testimony so that tomorrow I will be recognized."
Exactly.
So it's not just enough to expel them.
This Dasuki issue. Lai Mohammed was saying that they would not release Dasuki or Zaki because Dasuki, for example, $1.2 billion, which he spent in one day, he hasn't revealed to us
he has not accounted for the money,
who he spent it to, or how he spent it, and who he gave the money to.
And they also said that he has sensitive documents that he's holding on to that that they cannot say for sake of national security they can't mention, but he has certain documents that he's holding on to and he has not released. So until he release those information that they're looking for, he will remain in detention.
My only question to Alhaji Lai Mohammed, when the next dispensation gets into power, if they arrest him on allegations, be them true or false, and he approaches the court and the court gives a ruling, and the president at the time refuses to release him because he's not talking, he should not complain at that time.
No problem. Moving on to Daily Sun. Quick notice. DSS hunts hate campaigners. Declares ultimatum illegal and unconstitutional. Ethnic, regional retentions, handiwork of political elites, says Osinbajo. And Kalu Fort Arewa youth urges unity. Ondo APC crisis deepens. 4.7 billion naira debt. AMCON takes over properties in 2 states and UK. Withdraw eviction order. Southern leaders tell Arewa youths. 2019, Igbo groups shortlist candidates for presidency. All right, so
I have the DSS story.
Yes, go ahead.
The DSS spokesperson Opoyo was saying yesterday that they've launched a manhunt for the Arewa youth campaigners, you know, for the hate speech, that it is totally unacceptable. And I'm looking at him like, Oga, when you people went to go and do sting operation in George's house,
it was quick.
It was very quick.
Swift.
This Arewa youth something, I still saw their leader on TV last week. He was talking and explaining why they gave that quit notice. Yeah. How come you people cannot see them?
It's so difficult to find
the DSS also added that they are also going to add, hunt down their sponsors as well. The people, because
when you pick those people that are talking on TV,
which is connected to what
the
you were
story
saying.
I was going to
go ahead.
Adebayo, Ayo Adebayo's house was used to convey that meeting, and they said the South leaders mentioned that these young people in area from the north were not speaking for themselves, that they of course must have backing of some northern leaders. Right. Yes. So it is wrong that they must be picked up and they must be prosecuted for making insightful statements.
And aside from them, they must actually come out and
apologize
and speak again and withdraw that comment. And I'm excited because the Southwest, the South Side, and Southeast came together at this meeting. So it's like one force saying we're speaking against this Arewa youth, and that's pretty strong for me.
It is.
Well, let me quickly say that any part of Nigeria can decide that they want to leave, but we have a constitution. Tell your elders and your representatives, let them call for a referendum. Don't just start to incite violence.
Right. Since our leaders right now, even in the House of Rep, are already talking about confab. Everybody, the senators are talking about confab. So once we put that pressure on the government, then hopefully they can do some restructuring. Moving on to Vanguard, Akinrade, Okiwe, Hosfor, others take on Arewa youth. We talked about that already. FG will continue to detain Dasuki El Zaksaku. You mentioned that. More traffic pains as FG shuts Wharf Apapa Road for 12 months. Budget 2017, National Assembly draws battle line with Osinbajo. Who read that? I read that. Editors caution against hate speech. Quick notice, DSS moves to expose, prosecute sponsors. Okay, so National Assembly.
Before you talk about National Assembly battle, the road, Fashola had, of course, the commissioned the Apapa Road.
Not commission, sorry. What's the word?
It's an MOU between the federal government and Dangote.
Dangote is going to handle the construction of the roads, and they will shut down that road for the next 12 months. I'm happy about, fixing that road. However, every time there's a road construction in any part of our country, it always causes terrible gridlock. We should always look for alternatives, that can, bring ease.
Like a detour or something.
Yeah, it's actually a detour.
Yeah, okay. There is, but it has to be.
Oh, sorry.
Followed through properly.
How many things does Dangote have again?
How many things he has?
Construction.
They keep empowering one. What will we do?
Refinery.
Very soon.
National Assembly.
Dangote is Nigeria.
Jesus Christ.
Dangote Nigeria PLC.
I'm saying construction. When I talk Dangote, I'm like, construction.
Muraya, because we don't take responsibility. So the one willing to take responsibility, one man.
Besides, he has the funding.
This matter, budget. Let's talk about it very quickly. Who has that story?
I read the story, but what exactly?
Let me tell you what happened. So Sage is talking again. The the head, Professor Hitler Sage was saying that for me, he was just saying that the National Assembly should understand that their job is not again to modify, that they can be adding projects to the budget that the executive has done. But my own view is that can everybody just stop talking about this matter? Because the acting president himself has said he's going to the Supreme Court.
That's
so people stop making side comments, either from the presidency, from the legislature.
So the National Assembly now said that they are waiting for the the acting president, that he will come with a supplementary budget, and they will not.
They say they can't be rubber stamps.
Yes.
Why are we?
That they are undermining their authority as the National Assembly.
They shouldn't just hit up the politics. Everybody should keep quiet in their comments. The man has already said
just go to court.
Simple. Keep it short. That's all we can take on front page review.
Sympathy.
When we come back, hey, Evans is trending. Evans is trending. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So following the arrest and confessions of Evans, the notorious kidnapper, a picture of his wife and kids crying has surfaced on social media. The picture, which went viral, caused an uproar on social media, which has left the public torn with sympathy or rage on why not he should get a death penalty or whatever. Now, what are your thoughts on this? It's your view. You can call us on 07080668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. There's no death penalty here. That was just a scripting. Yes. So Evans was trending all weekend. Everybody having different sides to the story, especially when the video of his wife broke, and which reminded me of last week's conversation where I was saying that should he had even mentioned his wife, because for the sake of the kids, you know, have 5 children, young children crying. So all that combined with his recent
the recent video of the wife.
Not aside from the wife's video, the recent confession about the fact that his wife
is aware.
He's not aware that he does kidnapping, but she's aware he's into drugs, and just asked him to be careful. So there's so many sides of this story. But let me let Jumoke throw in a few points here.
It's obvious that his entire family are aware that he's into crime. They may not know how deep, because he mentioned that he just sent 20 million naira to his wife. Was it last week or the week before, when he was sending them to Ghana? Now, I said to you, it was the Spirit of God that made him confess and say that his wife was aware. And you saying that he shouldn't have mentioned his wife doesn't come into it. We want all the information that we can get from any criminal so that we can always deter other criminals, that as an accomplice, so you are as guilty as the person that you are aiding and abetting. Now, when the video of the wife came, it seemed a picture, actually. It seemed like a photo op. Because you are crying in a selfie. How does that happen, you know? And the sentiments that she wanted to whip up, a few people jumped on it and said, she may not have known, Igbo men, they keep their business away from their wives, blah, blah, blah. But when I saw the accounts of some of the victims, especially the one that happened, the last one, Mr. Donatus, who was kidnapped on February 14th, yes. And it was his employee, Emeka, that gave Evans and his team the information. Now, Mr. Donatus actually heard Emeka having the conversation with the gang, and he said that their eyes collided.
Right.
Now, after his family members had paid the ransom of 100 million that they could afford, they refused to release him. You know why? I'm sure Emeka was afraid that this Oga who saw my face will go and tell the police, and so he asked for him to be killed. Right. The week he was supposed to be killed, when they refused to kill him, Emeka was saying, why are you still holding him? Right. Now, Mr. Donatus had lost a lot of weight. Isha escaped. Right. And that's how he took policemen back to that house that Evans took policemen to yesterday, and he was caught. Now, when you hear these accounts, there was another man who talked of how he was shot.
Hang in there, because I want us to stay a bit on this women with this video, this picture, because that is probably what led to these sentiments that came up over this weekend. What are your thoughts when you saw that article? Because in fairness, I also felt that sympathy, like, oh God, this woman, because I could understand the fact that she married him at the age of 17.
That is
she's young, probably uneducated, only had me like a school cert, so she lived in the village. He was the one that brought her to Lagos. So I could understand that she was totally clueless on what he was on his lifestyle. So I was a bit sympathetic towards her. But let me...
in line with what you said, I don't think that based on the age she got married, she could be bold enough to speak up to such a man. Do you understand? She could just advise. She knows that our opinion wouldn't count. She was a wife, like a property. However, that's not where I'm going to take it from. She's loyal to her husband, and she knows that she has 5 children for him. So there's nothing she could do about it. That on one side.
She's 31 now and he's 36. How can she talk to him?
But I'm saying other people with no affiliation trying to defend or justify him, it's not, I couldn't fathom it. And it brings me to what former governor was doing. If you are found out to be a kidnapper, they will not only sentence you to death, they will bring bulldozer to your house, bring down the house, claim the property. It was a firm deterrent. So nobody would in any way entertain that there was a way to defend this situation. It is an undefendable situation.
But then
I feel that we must have a stronger defense against such people. We have 6 boys that have been kidnapped for a while. We are praying they are still alive. The lives of the parents are probably, I don't know the state they would be in. So apart from that, you did not even kill your victims. Imagine the trauma you have left the people that are waiting for those victims in. There is no justification for kidnapping.
Okay, Chocolate, pause for a second. Yes, angle of no justification. But what happens to the children? There are 5.
Don't go into crime. They have to suffer it.
5 kids are involved in this.
They will suffer.
Let me let Uwa come in here for a second.
And that's where I think when we're dealing with issues like this, we need to be careful because, first of all, no child asked to come to this world.
Exactly.
And, you know, the fact that we have crazy parents, irresponsible parents, does not mean that that child should suffer for their stupidity and their craziness. You know, so I'm first of all very pissed with the wife that you would subject your children and put them in that, put their faces, you know, out there in the public. And, you know, for me, I was irritated. I wasn't emotional when I saw that picture. I was really, really irritated. But you see, the agitation, agitations of people on social media saying and liking his case to top politicians, right, that have been seen or been linked to corruption and the kind of hideous crimes that we've seen that has happened over the years, stealing our resources in the country, and yet nothing is being done to them. I think those agitations, they are correct. Because when we see all the time our leaders, right, that are being linked to corruption go scot-free and nothing is being done to them, why wouldn't we have this kind of sentiment happening? If we want to be seen to be fair and we know that, okay, the law will take its course no matter who you are, if you are found guilty, you will face the full wrath of the law. Of course, nobody will whip up those kind of sentiments.
Right.
The government has given a loophole for these people to dwell on and say that the crime that this man has committed is justifiable.
Right, got your point.
Again, 2 wrongs will never make it right.
Thank you.
Now, regardless of that, 99 thieves go scot-free. Every crime must remain a crime. Every single crime.
How convenient is that, Jumoke? It's convenient for us to accuse the man next door. But the politician out there is so much inconvenient to do so, yes.
The politicians out there, we're not keeping quiet also. We're not just looking at it and thinking that it's okay. It's never going to be okay. Right. If you steal 1 naira of public funds, you should be hung also.
But they're not, if nobody's hanging them.
So
while we are waiting.
So while they are not being hung yet, because the democracy that we're managing is still an autocracy of some sort. While we are waiting, we cannot say, so everybody, all of us are hungry. I can kill my neighbor and I'll go and beg his hunger. We cannot justify any other crime.
The former minister took how many billions that Desani that was accused of? Billions. This man is being accused of X.
Let me ask a question. Okay.
Olabi, are you there?
Good morning, Mariah. I'm Olabi, every time caller.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. You know what really pains me is something. Eva's wife have to face this, and the kids have to be taken care with the government.
By the government, that's all.
This is where the welfare has to take in charge of everything.
Yes, we don't have welfare.
We can't because of the kids. We should let the wife go. No, it shouldn't be that way. See the trauma they have put all their victims in. Imagine Mr. Donato still facing debt. Despite the $100 million, as in, no.
All right. I understand the sentiments of we see thieves, people that literally, Ghana must go. We've seen videos of somebody stuffing dollars into their cap, and they are politicians, and they are still there till now, and they're not being prosecuted, no justice to them. That is why people are still continuing in politics and doing whatever they want to do. So if we want to stop kidnapping, we must always show some form of deterrent by getting one person to face the highest wrath of the law. This man left the East. Murayo, this man left the East. You read his account.
Yes.
He moved from state to state. As the states become worse in terms of their laws and stringent policy against kidnapping, he can keep moving to greener pastures. Well, so Lagos has become a greener pasture for kidnapping, and has become high here. We need to change that trend. Okay, why did they stop in the southeast?
He's a victim of the society.
Yes.
He's a victim of the same society
so
these politicians have created.
Thank you. It's a systemic problem.
Yeah, nobody's justifying what he did. But we're saying it's so convenient for us to accuse the next man who father.
But there's some of us who have remained sane in the same system. There's some of us who are drinking gari and we're farmers and we're carpenters and we're goldsmiths in the same system. We've remained
we didn't resort to crime.
So if all of us say that we're products of this system and we all start to kill one another, who'll be left? If you don't punish crime, you're going to encourage it.
Let me let you jump in and then we'll go take a break.
I just want to say that what they have created is steal but don't be caught. And if we continue like that, we can never make a headway. For every politician that have been linked to anything that is form of corruption, they should face the full wrath of the law. And then we'll see that we take this government seriously.
Let me take a quick tweet, a few tweets.
Ogushote says, the fact that a politician is in charge doesn't justify freeing an alleged kidnapper that has brought serious pain to families. Sunday says, good day to you all. Evans should be sentenced to death and the wife dealt with. The government should take care of their children. All
right, let's take a break now. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation, but this time focusing on the high rate of crime activities. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So from kidnapping to one chance to touch and follow. The growing rate of criminal activities is a cause of concern. Now, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, the Federal Capital Territory and Lagos has been reported to have the highest crime cases in Nigeria. Yes, how do we protect ourselves from falling prey actually to these vices? Joining us is the Zonal Police PRO, Zone 2, Lagos SP Dolapo Badmus. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To have you
Good
on.
to be here.
So you can call us on 0708066814. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. So Evans has been trending, touch and go. Somebody will just touch you and suddenly you find yourself in CMS Road or something like that.
A woman recalled her son was touched.
So many things. For us right in Lagos State, I think it's fair to say that some of us are living fearful. Going out, especially those of us that are even on TV, there's that sense of, are we safe? So let me ask you that question. Do we have any cause to be afraid in Lagos State?
Well, I want to say you don't have any reason to be afraid. We just need to be watchful.
Okay.
And that's why this sensitization is necessary. You know, right now, you will even agree with me, all over the world, you know, the terrorists, the men of the underworld, they seems to be upping their games. Right. And that's why we need to be careful and we need to up our game also. And if they are not resting, then we shouldn't rest. And there is no serious cause for concern in Lagos State. One
of the major issues people have within Lagos is the lack of trust for the police officials. There's a case in the front page, in the papers today, Punch, the Master One situation, where a citizen reported a situation that I was brutalized by my Oga, a Chinese man, and the case wasn't taken up at all.
That was in the state, actually, not Lagos.
Rather, they said he was bribed, and the man wasn't even brought to the police station to give a report. So people now feel like, if I don't have money, they won't fight for me. Maybe I should just not bother myself. Right. How do you deal with that part? When I don't trust the police to defend me?
Well, let me first start by the case in question. I can't get it. The man was not in the station. At the same time, the police was bribed. there are two different parts. The man was not in the station, but at the same time, the police was bribed. So who did the bribing? Right. So, you know, when people have issues, they whip up sentiments. Right. And that's why we officers, we don't just read stuffs at the face value and they believe it as it is. Right. That's why the word investigation, you know, is paramount to a police officer. If someone has, that's an allegation, it has not been proved, and then we can't just believe it hook, sink, and eye. And that's why we should go into investigation. But to the whole world, yes, the police has collected money or not. And I want to tell you that the case is right now under investigation. Right. The AIG in charge of Zone 2 has heard about that one, and it's under investigation. Okay. And if actually someone from another country has come, you know, to do that against a citizen, it wouldn't be tolerated. Okay. Okay. And we won't even allow citizens also to do it to anyone coming into Nigeria. But the lack of trust, with the arrest of Evans, I mean, today, I mean, he's rated the smartest kidnapper. He's rated the richest kidnapper. And yet we were able to arrest him and bring him to the phobia. Do you still lose trust with the police?
I have two questions in one, because you mentioned Evans. He mentioned that he had been arrested earlier this year, but he got away. So how confident should I be in the police? Also, talking about Evans, he moved to Lagos because the East became too hot for him. So how safe should people under your zone, Zone 2, be?
Yes.
Okay, let me now tell you the issue of Evans. Evans has been evasive. And when you read through all of his name, did you see the word Evans? Did the father name him Evans?
No, that's his nickname.
Do you know, we don't even know him until he was arrested. Nobody knows him and said, oh, this is the Evans they're talking about. And you will agree with me, even the ones working with him don't even know him. Yes, he was so what does that suggest to you? So he might have been arrested, and then there is no link to show that, okay, this is the Evans. Because he has several names. Right. And then if he got in there, maybe the court, I understand the court granted him bail just to come back. And if he has been arrested by the police, charged to the court, and the court granted him bail, which they think is entitled to, who is to be blamed?
Can that happen in this situation? That now that he's been arrested,
no.
Can
they know he's...
Can they grant him bail again?
Can the court grant him bail again?
Well, in Lagos State right now, and that's why we're thankful to the Lagos State government and House of Assembly, you know what the penalty for the offense of kidnapping. And if investigation also revealed that people have died in his custody, he's going to lose his own life.
Right. Before I come to Uwa, part of fear in Lagos State, the issue of Badu, the issue of Ekpe, the children that were kidnapped, these kind of things, especially the community living in Ikorodu, they are so scared that it's almost as though the police officials or the security officials focus elsewhere and somewhat have abandoned them. Please give us an update on that in that region, Ikorodu.
Yeah, like you have rightly said, Ikorodu has been in the news for one thing or the other. The issue of the Badu, well, we continue to imagine who Badu is. About 2 or 3 Badu have been arrested by the Lagos State Police Command charged to court. About 3 has been burned to death.
And that one is still coming.
And then, so what we're talking about, you know, the other time you saw the CP Lagos went to Ikorodu to meet with the chief, because we have reason to believe like it's coming back to us like ritual killings. Because when they kill those people, they wipe their blood with handkerchief and then they move. The AIG in charge of Zone 2, who has a jurisdiction over that place, he's having a meeting very soon because the community have to wake up and help the police. And we want to believe this is not being performed by spirit, because the interview with some of the people seems to, as if it's spirit that is coming in and doing all of this. But there is nothing like spirit with us, with the police when an offense is being committed. But I'm sure with all what the AIG has in stock right now, it will soon become a thing of the past. And concerning the kids that have been kidnapped, abducted, the Inspector General of Police has given directive to the CP Lagos to fish them out and ensure the rescue of the kids. And he's also, the IG has also activated the IRT, which will be led by our famous ACP,
Abba. So we all know him now.
You should clap for Abba.
I mean, he has succeeded. He has, you know, been able to get Evans, and I'm sure in the next few days, he will also get those children from custody.
Well, first of all, I'd like to commend the police, you know, on kidnapping, I mean, sorry, I say kidnapping, on arresting such an evasive person in the person of Evans. Although I'd like to know if it was because there was a ransom money, like 30 million was put on his head to say to fish this guy out, you know, because I'm very concerned about the welfare of the police. You know, in as much as we say, oh, the police, blah, blah, blah. I know that when we talk to police people on a one-on-one basis on the street, we hear them complain all the time. And with the recent robbery or the February robbery that happened in the East, and how a policeman died and nothing was being done, you know, to like welfare for his family, what is, you know, what's the fate of the police person that would even put his life on the line? Because we're saying that is Nigeria worth dying for? And the police is saying, we cannot die because if we die now, our family and everybody, you know. So just generally, what do you think?
Yeah, like let me comment. Immediately you decide to be a police officer, what you're telling the whole world that you've put your life online for others to be secured. That's what policing
and we should respect
entails.
People like that.
Yes, and then I'm not sure there's any policeman that will say, oh, I don't want to die for my country. A policeman should always think, because at least if we're here now, God forbid bad thing, if anything happens here, I should think about securing you people first. That's what should first come to my brain. And in the process of doing that, you are facing the heat and anything can happen. But like you've rightly said, I believe the current Inspector General of Police, you see, he's been going around to advocate for funding because if there is enough funding, then we can take care of anything. Like the policeman that died in Owerri, you know, we cannot be shouting it to the whole world. There are insurance to be paid, then the children's, you know, scholarship. There's an institutionalized scholarship for the kids. But because the whole world expects us to come out and be saying, oh, this is what we're doing. And then if we're not saying like that, that means we're not doing anything. No.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation and also take some phone calls and tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. So, still on this conversation, Tokwe, go ahead.
Somebody tweeted, and the question was still back to trusting the police. And the case being cited is when you go to police office and they will say, bring money for biro, bring money for pencil. This is bail. You have to pay money to bail the person out. Cases of police officers
Does that
being
still
used
happen,
to...
Dola?
Yes, Marayo. Cases of police officers being used to threaten, my tenant is not paying money. Oga police, follow me, let's go and threaten this person. How would a citizen innocently react to such a situation? If somebody watching now is being terrorized by, police is being used to terrorize that person, what should he or she do?
Let me pause for a second. We'll come to Abdul has been holding for a while. Abdul, are you still there? Abdul? Hello?
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Abdul. Go ahead, please. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning. Hi, it's War.
Good. Go ahead, please.
Please, I wanted to make my contribution. I want to be sure. Thank God for the police woman that you invited to come and talk to us. I wanted to know what role is the Nigerian police playing in fighting corruption? Because I just traveled from Ibadan to Lake to Abuja a few days ago, and the police checkpoint I met on the way, about 29, I counted one after the other, there were about 29, and each police post that we got to, our driver in the bus kept giving this police officer 50 naira, 100 naira, 50 naira, 100 naira. When you calculate from Lagos to Kaduna, 50 naira, 100 naira, in fact, the driver got change. He has to look for change and kept for these people by giving them from every bus stop to another bus stop.
Thank you very much, Abdul. Let me let her answer that question.
Well, thank you, Abdul. Like you've asked, what is the police organization doing concerning corruption, thank God the administration is fighting corruption generally, and then we are keen into it. And then the leadership of the force, they are striving hard to ensure that the system is cleaned up. Recently, you saw the issue of say no to corruption, that we did. Corruption not in my country, and it's part of, is one out of many things that the leadership of the force is doing to ensure that the system is cleaned up. And we also want fighting corruption, because we deal with members of the public. It's going to be for everybody. It's going to be for everyone.
Giver and receiver.
So should commuters be giving anybody money on the road?
Well, first think about it. What will make a grown-up man to be accepting 15 naira?
Right.
Abject poverty, man.
So I don't know why.
It goes back to welfare.
So I don't know why a grown-up man that's supposed to be on the road will be collecting 50 naira and 100 naira.
SP.
But
may I interrupt you to say that, like who I said, this goes back to welfare. We were discussing that the budget for the Nigerian police as a whole for last year, 2016, was 17 billion. Only 6 of that was released. Now, somebody who you have given a gun and you are paying him 47,000 naira in today's recession, with inflation, why will he not collect 50 naira? 100 naira to keep body and soul together? So how are we solving this problem? What do we as citizens need to do? Because it's a systemic problem.
Yes, to demand a better welfare
for
our
the entire
police
society.
Force. Yes.
Thank you, Jumoke. You know, a proper solution first comes from diagnosing what the problem is. What you have just done is you have diagnosed what the problem is. And then what is the solution? It's still in your in diagnosing. If 17 billion is budgeted and 6 billion is released, who takes charge of the rest? From where will those rest come in? So like you have said, the IG has been advocating, you know, it was in National Assembly begging that that should be done.
All right, I don't want you to go too much in that, because we all agree that welfare is important. But going back to what Tokwe had said, what exactly should be the procedure? Because you go to a police station, I must say, I've gone to police stations recently and they've been very professional. I've been to K2 station.
They know you.
Not because they know me. They actually later on they say, oh yeah, you're Mariah, but they've been very professional. But what's the process like? Because as Tokwe said, some still say money for this, money for paper, money for...
You want to investigate, you buy fuel into the police van.
Once something happens, what's the next thing you do? Can you just, so that the citizens know when they go to
well,
police
like they will always say, bail is free.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, if you go into station and they are asking for biro, for paper and for anything, you know, smile at them and tell them, sir, you can take charge of this, and then we know we are getting there because of still this gap of funding. That's where all of this is coming from. But at least we, like, Tokwe can wake up and just say, oh, what should I do for this division near me that has been taking care of me?
Yes.
Let me buy 10 packs of biro and then give to the DPO.
Thank you.
Very true.
Fantastic.
DPO, you can just, you know, distribute it. And then when next you come, and they said, oh, biro, they say, oh, but I provided biro. Out of my citizen responsibility. I did that to you. And every other person can do that.
So citizens can actually help. So
yes.
Let's see some tweets, please.
Can we even be taking rice and gari to them?
That's dry ration. We call it dry ration.
Uyi says, hang him already, please. Talking about Evans. Peter says, what about the compulsory road tax imposed by the police and the intimidation of drivers? Adeogun says, my question is on the famous kidnapper. His mother should be invited. She cannot deny the knowledge of his work.
Oluwaseun says, why do police stop citizens and check their phones? Kayode says, my question is on but why do people stop as they check phones and they say you have 3 phones?
They are looking for Yahoo.
Why do they have a right to?
I think I've addressed that sometimes back. I did a video over that and it went viral where we told members of the public that, you know, people not being oppressed starts from knowing what your right is.
Very true.
Do you understand? You cannot just be taken, because out of 12 disciples, we have Judas.
There must be.
So for every organization, there must be Judas.
Right.
We agree with you that we have some Judas or Judases in the force. But, you know, courteously, you can always tell them, sir, this is my phone. is my own private phone. You can't just stop me on the road and say, I want to see your phone. I'm not under investigation. I've not committed any crime.
Even if I am, send me
do the yes, that's what I want to say. That do you have a reason to suspect me? Okay, I can go to station with you. We make proper, because most of them will not want to come to the station with you. But you don't just tell a policeman, will you get out? Do you want to? And you know there will be problem. But cautiously, sir, this is my phone.
Private property.
It's my property.
All right. Unfortunately, we have to round up. But thank you, SP Dolapo, for being here. So I think we've learned quite a bit. We need to bring you more often. Questions. Yes. We have lots of questions because people, Lagos State, a lot of, especially those in Ikorodu and the 6 boys that are still 27 days right now, are still there on the kidnappers. So hopefully by God's grace they'll be released this week. But we're going to be calling you more often now. Yes. Because everybody has security. We are all alert. We're looking for all the Evans around us. We don't want because me, I don't want him. We are really very careful. So, but thank you very much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
That's all we can take. See you tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.